Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is blasting some Democrat governors for refusing to adopt provisions in President Trump's tax cut bill, writing on X that the leaders of New York, Colorado, and Illinois are Grinches, and due to their Scrooge-like tendencies, residents won't benefit from no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and a new deduction on Social Security. Going on to say to Fox News Digital, these governors are forcing Americans to shoulder higher state tax burdens, exacerbating the financial squeeze on low-income households. Now, this is a real problem, Tiffany, because we are dealing with an issue of affordability. Yeah. The president's acknowledged it. It might be a hangover from Joe Biden, but it's a reality for a lot of people. We talk about blue states and how polarized we are and how much more that polarization is becoming distinct. Yeah. But I also say we all have choices. I complain about New York City all the time. I don't have to live here.
I know.
I choose to live here. I love my job, but I could move to a red state and find something else to do if I really wanted to do that, yet I don't. So we all sort of weigh things in our minds and make decisions.
Well, hopefully, these blue state leaders will be exposed. And I don't care if you're a Democrat, let's get better leaders in office and running our states. They appear to be con artists. They complain about affordability, and then they block the very federal government policies that will help the people in their state. It really doesn't make sense. Like, they're not even hiding it anymore. It's whatever Trump is for, we're against. Doesn't matter if it's good for the American people. Doesn't matter if it will help the people in our state. We're just against it. And I hope that they get exposed. And I hope more people see this, because at the end of the day, who's hurting? It's the people in their states. Like, you think of no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. They're withholding that from the people in their state that need it desperately.
I think more people see it, and I think more people do choose the exit option, as we've seen here in New York, for example. You're seeing it in Illinois and Chicago, too.
Well, Washington State as well.
So then you've got a bigger base that votes for them. They stay in power. Right. They make it worse until, Taylor, as you say, then the whole system implodes.
We love the Unleashed Prosperity newsletter, and they come yesterday and today armed with two really good facts to back up the data you just talked about. The first headline yesterday, blue states charge double for electric power than red states. So that right there, when you think about cost of living, and I was walking home yesterday and called my mom, and I was like, is it okay that I don't turn the heat on in my house even though it's 17 degrees outside? Because the electricity bill is through the roof. I know, it's because I'm choosing to live here. Here's another headline from today that they talk about Michigan trying to raise, I can't find it, I'll find it later, trying to raise the top income tax rate from 4-something to 9-something to help kids, even though the K-12 program there flush with cash and test scores plummeted. So this is the latest in another blue state that wants to raise the top income tax rate again to one of the highest in the nation, to not show the results for it. I don't know. I don't know when the pendulum swings. I don't know if enough people have to leave. I don't get it.
In Washington State, so for example, like to what you're talking about, Taylor, Microsoft president said that the tax climate in Washington State is so bad that the company might have to move jobs. But records show that he donated to Governor Bob Ferguson, who's enacting all of these policies that are raising taxes and having, these great companies that supply jobs are now moving out.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see whether Michigan State, to your point, will adopt another portion, an opt-in portion of the big, beautiful law that now allows, encourages scholarship donations to support school choice. They're allowing states to opt into a tax credit, so you can get up to a $1,700 tax credit if you donate to a scholarship that can be used at a private school or even school choice in some situations to offset the cost of educating your child at home. So while maybe Michigan is considering hiking their taxes, an alternative to that could be opt into this big, beautiful law and a tax credit that would, encourage people to make scholarship donations, and that's one way to defray the cost, maybe without hiking the taxes. I don't know. I was reading that maybe in some of these cases, New York, Colorado, and Illinois, not going with the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, it might have something to do with their state budgets. You know, I haven't
Well,
audited
in
them.
New York and Illinois,
I have questions about
they
that.
spend all your money and then
Right,
more. Totally.
Absolutely. But how smart of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to jump on that and make sure that everyone is aware that they are making the decision to block these benefits that people have voted for.
We agree that we don't like a lot of these policies that we're seeing. But, Brian, what we're not solving for in this equation is what we saw in the last election here in New York City. The socialist vote is out there. The electorate here has changed. And so do we have to just accept that there are those people within our society, they are congregating in certain places, and they want this? You know, I know we pitched it as a lot of people didn't know what they were voting for and they were confused. I'm not so sure that they were.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're going to be out there. You're right. And they are congregating. But I wonder if they know this, OK? The people who voted for Mamdani, because I didn't know that states could opt out of federal tax provisions. Did you know that? I didn't know that. No, this is we're learning something from the Treasury Secretary. They don't have to do this. So you get these states, and I agree. I think it's a budget issue in New York and Illinois. They don't have enough money. I don't know about Colorado and Maine. I don't know. But think about this. In New York will continue taxing tips and overtime pay by adding new codes for add back of exempt tip income and add back of exempt overtime pay, okay? So you're one of these affordability people in New York. You voted for Mamdani. Maybe you make tips. Maybe you work overtime. You'd like to enjoy the benefits from that. And the Democrats or Democrat socialists, whoever they are in New York, have decided that they're not going to allow you to do that, okay? You probably didn't even know they had the option to do that.
It's a messaging issue. They have to be messaging this. Because I have two
Yep.
people in my building, sorry to cut you off, Brian, who have been asking me on my way to work, what's the no tax on overtime? How do I start doing that? And I've sort of tried to run through the numbers with them in preparation for tax season. They have no clue that they actually may not.
Well, guess what? You can
it.
tell them the point's moot because your state won't let you benefit from it. That's the answer.
That's the answer. It's also a serious problem.
Polarized. Distinct. Implode. Plummeted. Defray. Congregate. Moot. Pendulum. Grinch. Scrooge.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.